minutes.
Hello.
Inquiry isn't here yet.
Not yet. But she came. She joined early. Yeah.
Okay.
Me.
And the end.
On your video.
My room is dark. I have
your light is not you don't have clear good lighting there.
Let me try. I have visitors in the house, so I'm bound to be in the room.
Okay, yeah, that's better now.
Better now.
How is it now?
It's better.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sava. Mommy Mike.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Mommy Gloria.
All right, all right. We'll go ahead and
Okay.
start.
All right.
Mm. Hello and welcome to this amazing platform where we provide you with great ideas in business, technology, and life skills in general. This is the second episode of development, which we believe is one of the areas where the youth need guidance. My name is Nelson Achalengwa, and I'll be your host for this session. Learn all about the medical field from our expert guests. And our focus today is pursuing a career in accounting and finance. Good morning. Yeah. There is this popular adage that says money talks. Well, money won't actually be talking today, but those skilled in money management will. Our guests for today are excellent and versatile professionals who will be giving us a taste of their experience. This is Ate Honorine, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Nell.
Welcome, Mrs. And thank you for joining us today as well.
Hello.
Yeah, I said welcome, Mrs. Nana, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Nelson.
Right. I hope you can hear. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, I'm getting you very well.
Well, all right. And welcome, Miss Mildred. Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Yep. Okay, so before we begin, to all those watching this channel for the first time, I'll invite you to do two things. First, hit the subscribe button and press the bell. Get first-hand notifications on upcoming episodes of this series and our other interesting videos. And please give this video a thumbs up and share it tags on social media. Doing so will help the videos rank higher in the YouTube search algorithm, and it's a way of supporting us. And of course, as we feel free to drop your questions in the live chat or in the comment section. All right, so accounting and finance. Mrs. Honorine, what are the main career paths for someone who does accounting or finance?
Okay, thank you, Nell, for that question. Actually, for career paths in that field, we have quite a number of them. We have quite a number of them, which anyone willing to study accounting and finance can hope to end up with. Now, in the area of finance, we have financial analysts, we have investment bankers, we have financial examiners or executors. In the area of accounting, I'm trying to separate them, but first and foremost, someone who studies accounting and finance can be an accountant, can be a financial officer, can be a financial controller. Now going further can be a tax manager, and a lot of other titles which revolve around that same thing. But brief, and I'll not forget banking as well. Of course, banking is a whole course on its own, but it's also it's a finance course. Let me put it that way.
All right. Okay, that's interesting. And Mrs. Nana, what are the schools that train in accounting or finance in Cameroon?
Okay. I'll just list some schools that I know of. I think there are many, just a few that I've heard people talk about and the ones I know. Banking and finance, you can think about the Catholic University. There is also CTEC. I think CTEC offers that. There is also ICT University and University of Boya. I can't forget that. My alma
right?
mater. So that.
You read? All
Yeah.
right.
So
Okay. Do any of these schools, like, do you need to write a concours to get into them? Any of all the schools that you listed?
no, no, you don't need to.
All right.
I think you just need to follow the registration process. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So sorry, can you say that again?
Yeah, I said that I think you just need to follow the registration process. There is no concours so far for any of them that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right. Okay. So
But
accounting
there should be
and
many more
finance. I mean,
schools there.
all right. Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
So accounting and finance, I learned that these two fields are quite related. Mrs. Honorin, can you like give us some of the similarities and differences between these two?
One, I would start by giving a brief definition of both so that we could see how they are related and how they are different. Now, accounting basically, like the word account or recount,
Mm-hmm.
is an accurate report of what has already happened in compliance with,
Mm-hmm.
the financial dealings of a company or its assets or whatever. So it's like producing a report
All
or an
right.
account. I'll use the word, and then finance, it concerns itself with the business's monetary funds, like the monetary aspect of the business. And then it actually uses the information that the accounting gives to project into the future of the company. So we could say that accounting records the past of the company, or they already happened, while finance projects the future and makes decisions related to money.
Oh,
Now, accounting and finance, they both have to do with the monetary aspect of the business. But accounting does not only record financial information. That's one thing we must note as a difference as well. It doesn't record only financial information, it records every information that pertains to the running of the company, as much as it translates into figures, but it concerns itself with everything, be that the assets, the debts, and whatever of the company. But the finance, when we say finance in the strict sense, it just has to do with the money. So basically,
okay. All
that's
right. All right. That's it. All right. Okay. Interesting. Fair enough. Wow. All right. That's some very good insight. And Miss Mildred, how long is the training like on average to become an accountant or a banker?
Yeah, thank you, Nelson. To become an accountant, I think first of all you need to have a background. You need to have the advanced level with a background in at least ordinary level mathematics and advanced level economics.
Mm-hmm.
That's the basis to start with for those in the general education field. And after which you need to proceed with maybe either an HND course, which is 2 years, or you go further to do a degree course. Because with an HND, I think you can already exercise in the accounting field or in the banking field, depending on the position that you're going to hold. So we just need 7 years in secondary and high school in our Cameroon system, and then maybe bac plus 2 2 more years in the university in higher education, or 3 years to become to have a degree in accounting. As from then you can like practice in a certain dimension. But now to go further, to earn certain positions, certain managerial position when it comes to accounting, I think in most institutions they oblige a master's degree. Like you should have a master's degree, or you should have certain certifications like ACA or CFA and things like that. So that's it.
Right. That's wow. Okay, so I can say, boom, yeah, it's advisable to have at least a master's degree, like in summary.
It's
And also certifications
yeah,
are a plus. Certifications like ACA, as you mentioned, are a plus. Yeah, you're saying something.
Yeah, I would advise maybe someone who is aspiring to go into accounting and finance field to go as far as the master's degree, because when you go as far as the master's degree, your options are wider. Your options are more than someone who limited themselves to just having an HND and remaining there. Because having that HND, you would always have to like compensate with more years of experience in order to occupy certain positions. Meanwhile, having a master's degree, you can be recruited at an entry level, maybe without even experience or just 1 year experience, as opposed to someone with an HND on the same position. The person will be required to have at least 4 years experience or so. So I think having a master's degree is the easy way out, because we all know that having that experience nowadays is not really easy.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah,
on
that's
your
true.
way there, it's always good to have those certifications, because those certifications make you more, it refines your skill. It refines your skill. It makes you more apt as an accountant.
Right. Okay. Okay. So in that same light, okay. So what university courses should every accounting or finance student take? Like what are some of the courses that they should be expecting to take? Like what courses are really necessary?
Okay, all right. Like some of us who went through University of Boya, for someone, and in the University of Boya, we don't have a school of accounting like in most universities abroad and everything. We have a department which is under a faculty. And in that department, we have programs. We have the branches, the accounting branch, and then the banking and finance branch. Now, for someone in the accounting branch who wants to pursue like a career in accounting, or who wants, it would always depend on what branch of accounting they want to go, they want to like take serious. But from the beginning, you need to have a base in the basic principles of accounting. That first, you need, as an accountant, you also need to have an understanding of cost accounting. That's another one. Financial accounting, you need to master them to your fingertips. On the other hand, for someone who really wants to venture into pure finance, it's true we cannot separate the two, but if you want to specialize more on that, or you want to further work into financial analysis, credit analysis, or so, I think first of all you need courses like financial accounting. If you want to be a financier who would go into maybe stock valuation and everything, you need to understand financial markets, derivatives, and options. Those are things you need to master. On the contrary, if you just want to be someone who works in a company as maybe a finance officer or a finance controller, you just need to understand basic accounting, basic financial accounting for a start, and then you need to master things like financial mathematics. You need a little bit of financial mathematics in order to cope in the field.
Okay. Wow. Those are all the things that you've said are definitely important courses in accounting and finance. So, like, what tips can you give? Okay, students in accounting and finance, like to smoothly navigate through the trading process? Miss Mildred, like what tips can you give accounting or finance students?
Sorry, I didn't get your
Like,
question
okay, to
well.
smoothly navigate through the trade.
I still do not get you.
Is it hear me? Sorry. My question is, what tips can you give accounting and finance students to smoothly navigate through?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
The first tip I would give an accounting and finance student is, first, ensure that when you're starting your training, you establish a mentoring platform, like you get a mentor, someone who mentors you. Because in order to make it, in order to like succeed through the field, you would always need advice. You always need like follow up from someone who has gone maybe ahead of you and who knows how some of those lecturers and some of those teachers they are, how they approach certain things. I think the first thing is to get a mentor, to get a career mentor, get a school mentor also. Another thing that I would like to encourage, another tip that I would like to give to anyone who wants to pursue a career in finance and accounting is that you should aim high. Yeah, you should aim high. You should aim for it. You should aim for at least a 3 GPA. Yep. With at least a 3
Really?
GPA, you
Yeah.
have more openings than
Excellent.
someone who just had a second class lower. When you have a second class upper, you'll have openings to scholarships to further your studies and everything. You know, in Cameroon, to get good education in finance and accounting, apart from the public universities, it's quite expensive. Going to the Catholic
Yes.
University, you spend over $1 million and everything. But if you're graduating at the graduate level, you're leaving school with at least a second class upper, you're going to have more openings. That's another
Yeah.
one. Another thing is,
Okay.
at the level of anybody who wants to successfully venture into a career in finance and accounting, at the level of your graduate level, you should already have a vision of where you're going to. Because most people get frustrated when they leave school from having a degree and then they stay at home over a very long time, maybe looking for a job, not knowing exactly what to do after their degree, and everything. A lot of things can happen there within that period. I think while you're still doing your first degree, it's necessary for you to start doing research on the other schools that are available for you to pursue a graduate program, what it requires. Are you going to do a concours? What are the things that they study there? What are the different branches? You need to do a research and get all that information so that by the time you leave school, you know you're working for something. Or if you're leaving school and you want to like go directly and start working, I think while you're still in school, you should start maybe dropping applications for internships. You should acquire as many internships as possible because you're building your CV already. Or you should start applying for jobs, maybe dropping unsolicited applications on the website of companies. Yeah, you should start doing that, because by so doing, you're not only aiming for a job, you're sharpening your skills in writing CVs and motivational letters. It's giving you more experience. So by the time you're even leaving school and maybe you stumble on a job interview or something, you had already had past experiences on it, and it's going to be smoother for you than someone who has never done it or who has never had it in mind. So I think those are the tips that I would give someone who wants to pursue a career in finance and accounting.
All right. Wow. Okay. Wow. Interesting stuff. All right. You mentioned applying for internships in advance, and you mentioned, yeah, applying for internships in advance and all of that. Mrs. Nana, in that light, can you like maybe share with us some companies or institutions where um, those new accounting and finance should target for respect to jobs and internships? Like what are some of the possible
Can you
places?
repeat, please?
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, can you mention some companies or institutions where finance people can
Okay.
apply to for jobs? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll start by saying that every sector needs an accounting or a finance personnel. Every kind of
Okay.
business needs somebody like that. So the choices are so many.
Mm-hmm.
It's just left for each and every one of us. Like the person should know what he wants. For example, for in like in the supermarket, they will need a cashier,
Yeah.
which entails somebody that at least has some knowledge in accounting. So I'll just say maybe supermarket, depending on how far you want to go. There are
Mm-hmm.
banks, there are credit unions, there are even companies. Because companies need finance persons or even or an accounting person, an accounting personnel. So I think every sector in life needs an accounting or a finance personnel. So it all depends on what the person wants or what the person is aiming for in life. Yeah. So
All right.
that's
Okay.
it. Yeah.
For these jobs, okay. I'm sure these students, they need certain technical skills, right? They need certain skills in general. Okay, so what according to you are the skills that every accountant or banker needs to be successful? Mrs. Nana, what according to you are those skills that they should have?
Okay. Okay. First of all, and most important, they should be able to communicate right.
Okay.
In fact, you need to be able to communicate with these people, with the customers, with the people that you have to serve. I'll take an example like in the banking field. You, if you are a customer service personnel, for example, you have to be able to receive the people with a smile,
Yeah.
first of all. It permits them to be relaxed and also to be ready to hear what you have to say. So you should be able to communicate right. You should be able to have convincing skills because you need to sell your products to them. You should be able to convince them. And there are also other skills like learning Microsoft Word, learning Microsoft Excel, those softwares that you need to know. They won't teach you in school 100%. It's true some schools offer those things, but you have to learn them maybe on your own if your school doesn't give you the opportunity to learn those because you will need them at your job site in future. And to be a banker in particular, you need to have integrity. In fact, the whole sector as a whole, whether you're an accountant or you're a banker or you're a finance person, you need to have integrity. You need to be able to keep confidentiality as well. So I think those are
Very
some
important.
skills that I can name. Yes. Because those sectors they deal with money. Anything that has to do with money, you have to be extra
Yeah.
careful. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Right. So, Mrs. Honorinka, anything to add to that? Like any other skills that you would like to add?
Yeah, okay now, for technical skills in accounting, you must have basic knowledge of generally accepted accounting principles. There are universally accepted accounting principles as well as those pertaining to the particular country you belong to. In our case, OHADA, but there are other general accounting principles that every accountant all over the world knows. They are the same.
Mm-hmm.
You have good knowledge of Microsoft Excel. I really want to stress that point because there is a lot of data you'll be dealing with that you need to manipulate. So you really need them, and you
Yeah.
need to have
Yeah.
knowledge of business intelligence softwares like QuickBooks and all
Mm-hmm.
those kind of. Yeah, and also you should have knowledge of data management or querying. That you should have data management or querying abilities. It's very important for an accountant. Now, for soft skills in that domain, you need to be very analytical. You need analytical abilities. You need good interpersonal skills. Yeah, you need to be trustworthy, you need adaptability and flexibility, because a lot of things are going to happen and you will need to use the principles you know, but adapt them to the situations on ground. And above all, you should be able to work under pressure, under a lot of pressure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you very much thank you for skills. And yeah, so still with you, Mrs. Onori, like according to you, what are the upsides and downsides of being, what your opinion?
The upsides first, jobs in the finance sector really pay well. If you happen to work in a good company, good bank, or yeah, they really pay well, because consideration is given in relation to what you manage, like the extent of the assets you manage. If you really fall into a good company, you really get well, you can really live a comfortable life from being an accountant. And then the second thing is that it's not a static job, as in there's always room for improvement and learning new things. Yes, there are accounting processes, all, but you always have room to maneuver, like to be creative. Let me put it that way. So it's not a static job. It's not also a boring job, because there are some jobs that really get boring because you do the same thing, the routine becomes unbearable. Well, those are the upsides. Now for downsides, the biggest and for me the only downside of being a finance personnel is that the least mistake you make can mar your whole life and can mar the whole life of a company.
Yeah.
I mean, the smallest error you make, just a zero you forgot to add or a one you missed to see, can mar a whole company's life and can mar your life, because in general, most accountants end up in prison. So,
yeah.
That's the downside of that problem. You have no room for errors, actually.
It's definitely
no room for errors. We'll say errors are human, but an accountant is not expected to behave as one. Because indeed you really have no room for errors. That's why you have to be absolutely meticulous and pay attention to the utmost details.
Yeah.
So for me, those are basically like
when handling money is that's the bottom line of every company. So that with utmost care. All right. So okay, so Ms. Mildred, can you share with us your personal experience as like in your job, like as in the job, share with us.
There's a lot to share. Can it be more specific? I don't know which direction to take.
Okay,
there are different phases.
All right. Okay. So what challenges
there are different phases of it.
Have you faced so far? What challenges have yes.
Okay. Sorry, what challenges I face?
Yeah. What challenge so far in your job? Have you heard me? What challenges have you faced so far in your job?
Well, I've faced a lot of challenges. I've faced a lot of challenges, and as earlier mentioned by my colleague Honorine, one of the skills we need to have is that of interpersonal skills. Like one of those technical skills we need to have is the ability to relate with people personally. And at times in the field, it's not even the management of the figures that is difficult.
Yeah.
it's the fact that everybody is breathing down on you that gets really difficult. It's the fact that maybe you need to come up with maybe you need to come up with an information that two of your bosses don't agree on the right approach to use, and you're caught in the middle.
Yeah.
Those are the things that can be really challenging. It's the fact that maybe you're trying to like maintain your integrity, but there's someone who is higher than you who is telling you to do otherwise. That really gets tough. Those are the real things that it's those are one of the things that like pose a problem in our field. And also there are times that you are expected to come up with certain statements at maybe short notice, like without even like overnight. as in maybe as they expect that while people are sleeping in the night, you're busy working. Like those are the things that really make the just like my colleague earlier said, there are certain things that you would genuinely do and it's an error on your part, you're human, but because there are laws and there are procedures and there are decrees that are applicable to those things, and maybe it skipped your mind, maybe you do not pay attention to, and you might be considered to be either incompetent or an accomplice to something. Meanwhile, it was just a human error. It was just a human error, but you are left with just two judgments, either incompetency or an accomplice to maybe a fraud or something.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you did it with utmost good faith. Yeah, those are the kind of things. And then another challenge is in the field of accounting, at times you can never boast of having exhausted all the laws. Yeah, because they are never finished. And every year, those laws are renewed, like they are modified.
Exactly.
They are modified. You cannot hang on one, you cannot hang on maybe something you knew in the past, and you keep applying that. One day you wake up in the morning and realize that you've taken the company into the swamps. So it's like it's a field that you need to be constantly learn, constantly seek to like be informed on the changes that are like have been affected in your field. So those are the challenges I've had so far.
I see. Okay, so with respect to that, especially the part of the possible liabilities that you tend to face, is there a way that you can really protect yourself from that? Is there like, do you have advice that like what like is there any way that you can protect yourself from that?
Be very vigilant. I think you can only be as the only. I think you can just only be as like you read and read and read. And another thing, you can only protect yourself. Nobody can protect yourself more than you. That's the truth. And you can only read and reread and make sure that you're doing the right thing. And then the consequences now, you just assume. So before you put your signature, be very sure that you have read and like I earlier said, at that time when you're reading, there is someone mounting pressure on you to bring in the statements fast. One of the ways of protecting yourself is not falling for the pressure. Like, take your time. Take your time, because tomorrow that person who maybe was mounting pressure on you is not going to take responsibilities for something that you did that wasn't right. And I don't think there is any other way that you can really protect yourself apart from being vigilant. For me, maybe there's a way, but I really don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so it's not possible for you to not take responsibility in signing documents. Or,
sorry, I didn't get you.
I guess it's not possible to refuse to sign documents. Like, okay, to shift the responsibility to someone else for the signatures.
If you are not sure, don't sign.
When concerns money like that, no way. When concerns money, your signature. It's no other person's phone. I do think that there are some cases that, for example, um, this one is at a global level. There are companies that insure certain losses. Yeah, there are companies that insure certain losses, like unforeseen circumstances and everything. But that's at a global level. That's maybe you made an error which was genuine, and then the company incurred some losses. The company will be indemnified. That's at the general, like the company level, not really at the personal level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
would like to add.
But yes.
I would like to add by saying
Yes, go
that
ahead.
you can never be too careful. Don't allow anybody to make you feel like you are too careful. You can really never be too careful, because in the sector where we work, there are people who actually intentionally set you traps. And then also, sometimes even the bosses try you and test you. They will bring in a document which is flawed, or which is not, let me say in quotes, not correct. And they put you in a position where you have to make a choice that calls forth your integrity. I think that that's where the whole thing plays out. You, if it is not right, it is not right. There are not two ways about it, because the truth is that either it's a test or it's a genuine error on their part which you need to correct. But either way, you need to correct it. If you cannot sign, you cannot sign. There is no law that obliges you to sign the document. If you think you have the right to inscribe your reasons for not signing on them. Now, left for the next person in line to go ahead, but having noted your reservations on that document. There are documents you will sign, but you mention your reservations. That way you are covered. Time comes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see.
Because
Okay.
I'll
So
take an
you can
example,
actually sign
like the
and mention
general
your reservations.
manager can order a purchase which is not in line with, or it does not follow the budgeting lines assigned. And you know that is what you're supposed to do, reject it. But he uses his veto power or his authority to impose on you to sign, because that check cannot get paid if you don't sign on it. But you also have the possibility of signing on it with your reservations. There is room for that, so that you are covered in case something goes wrong. It will be clear that that position was taken above you, or that you get your advice which was not taken. I think there is also a possibility for that.
For that. Okay. Yeah, what you said is a very good point. Like, signing with reservations. Yeah, that's definitely very useful. Thanks for sharing that. All right. Mrs. Nana, what is like what is the what do you think makes, like, what is your greatest success that you've had in your job?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I recently had an award. I had an award last year for
Wow. Okay.
one of the best head office staff. Since I work at the head office in my bank, I was awarded
All right.
best staff of the year 2019. So I think so far that gladdened my heart, and it shows that the hard work I was putting in paid. Yeah. So
Okay. Well,
so far,
I'm sure that's opened the door for you. I'm sure that's opened doors for you.
Exactly.
So greater things.
Exactly. It did. Okay. It did. So yeah. But I would like to share.
Okay,
I would
that's
like to
amazing. At least
share a
that's
little.
like that's sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to share a little my experience. For example, how I got in, and how I got to where I am right now. it's
Yes.
true. When we leave school, we are looking for a job, and we want something that pays us very well. And
Yes.
after I had my degree, I went ahead to have a master's. And when I left, I bet you my entry level. When I got to my place of work, I started as a marketer with a salary of
Mm-hmm.
50,000. I mean, any other person would be like, how can I have a master's and I'm paid 50,000 francs? But I mean, when I got in, my focus at the beginning was to gain the experience, because I didn't have any experience apart from the book work that was in my head, the literature and everything, the theory. But now you need the
Yeah.
practical to back it up.
Yeah.
And if I was so focused on the money, I bet you I wouldn't have taken the job. But I took it. I took it, and marketing, for example, it was a challenge for me, but I went ahead to accept it because I wanted the experience. And
Mm-hmm.
that was something I had to do for 3 months before they could. I don't
Okay.
know what would have happened after that. But after a month, I was appointed to a different task, and that's how
Okay.
my level kept changing. I got to operations, where the backbone of the bank, where you see every transaction takes place. That is where I was taken to. And
Mm-hmm.
from there,
Wow.
I moved on to a supervisory kind of a position, where I'm supervising now what other people are doing. Meanwhile, when I got in, I was doing work and I was being supervised, but now I'm supervising what they're doing. And of course, there's an increase in the salary. So it's just to encourage someone out there that I
Yeah. The most
don't
important part.
focus so much on the money, on the package, on how much are they giving me. I have a master's and all. I have a degree and all of that. It wouldn't necessarily start like that with the 6 figures, or
Yeah.
yeah. So, and last year I was given an award. So it's just to
Yeah. I
encourage
think I was
somebody
seven.
that
I was
you
seven
have to start
figures.
from somewhere. Yeah, you need to
Mm-hmm.
start from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. 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 Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much for sharing your personal experience. And you're absolutely right. You need to. I mean, the beginning will not be rosy. It's definitely going to be challenging. And yeah, you cannot just like enter a company and expect to be paid a huge sum. You definitely, most of the times you have to work your way up. You definitely have to work your way up. All right. Um,
Exactly.
yeah. So I think we've officially come to the end of the session, and all of you have shared a lot of valuable information and advice, which I believe will be very enriching, to our viewers, and to prospective bankers, accountants, finance people, um, controllers, yeah, and all those in the domain of finance. So thank you all very much again once more for joining us today, and we hope to have you again sometime in future with us.
Okay.
And
Thank
to our faithful viewers,
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you for the opportunity.
yeah, to our faithful viewers, please support us by liking this video, as I earlier said, and sharing on social media. And if this is your first time here, please subscribe and press the bell to get updates on upcoming episodes of this series. Please stay tuned, and until next time, remember that best tech remains your best bet. Thank you.
you.
Okay. Uh, all right, we are good.
Okay.
Cool.
All right.
Oh, Debbie has really gone.